Are you strong enough to defeat this Roadhouse remake? Let's find out. Chase Liaki here at the Blue Futon reviewing the Roadhouse of the 2020s, or the 20s, but not the roaring 20s. But anyway, remake of an 80s movie with Patrick Swayze, same name, same-ish concept about a bar, and shenanigans ensues, and now this bouncer, now it's Jake Gyllenhaal, needs to settle these customers down. However, there's a rich guy that wants the property, and now Conor McGregor comes in the picture, just ready to fuck shit up. So, do you like this film? It's a cheesy little film. Is it better than the original? Hell to the nah. Is the original even like a great movie? To an extent, not really, but there was charm in that one with the 80s fun. This one is a 2024 movie. Feels like it's more of a early 2000s triple X, those type of action movies where it's interesting camera work, interesting dialogue, but overall, I can't say it was a horrible movie because I did have just a little bit of fun with it. So, talking about the positives, I think Jake Gyllenhaal does a fantastic job. I know people are giving Conor McGregor shit, like how he's playing his role, but I do like how he played it. He played it far-fetched. Some people might think that different characters in this movie are playing in different movies. You could say sure to an extent because, Conor McGregor is just a balls of the wall, just no shit, don't give a fuck type of character. And the funniest part of him is not using brakes on vehicles. I think that's a very funny gag, which some of the writing is funny gags that work that way. But then there's also weird gags with the piano, which doesn't work, or sometimes the band playing in the background, where there'll be fights happening, or the fights are outside now, or there's absolutely no one in the bar, but the band is still playing. That gags don't work, but then the silly Conor McGregor gags do. And like I said, he's in a different movie. I think Jake Gyllenhaal is somewhat in the same movie, and I say that because his backstory is a little bit more serious about his UFC career. And so he's very more reserved than all the other characters. The bombasticness of that. But then you look at that seriousness of the UFC career, then you look at one scene in the movie where he beats up 5 people, but he drives them to the hospital. And you're wondering, what is that even a smart idea? Because if you're in a closed-contained car with 5 people, that's not smart at all. So that is something where I understand the gag of the movie, but it doesn't really work as the overall premise of what we're trying to do. Then the guy that was in that Netflix movie called Lift with Kevin Hart, I noticed him. He does a fine job. Again, he feels like he's in the same movie as Conor McGregor because there's this weird gag, if you want to put it that way, with shaving on a boat. I don't understand that gag. Again, like I said, this is a very hit and miss movie when it comes to some of the gags and some of the writing. I think it's a lot more misses with the gags. But when we get to the fighting scenes, this is done by Doug Liman. He has a lot of good movies and a lot so good movies like Edge of Tomorrow. Fantastic fucking movie. Then you have Jumper. I hated Jumper. Chaos Walking. That one was a fine movie, but very, very hit or miss director in my opinion. This one is more the middle of the road movie too. We'll talk about the fight sequences. That's what you're here for. Roadhouse. The iconic, the very end on the motorcycle. Well, you don't get that here. You do get some good overall badassery, but the camera work. Some of the camera work of this first person shit didn't work for me. It looked very CGI-ish, and it kind of took me out of the picture. But when it was a wide angle of Conor McGregor and Jake Gyllenhaal, these other people fighting, I really did enjoy that a lot more. Like I said, when he kept going to that one-on-one version, I wasn't a fan on it. And the special effects wasn't good. Especially this scene on a bridge with a pickup truck. That did not look good whatsoever. There's another one with a boat. You kind of see in the trailer with the explosion. Doesn't look good whatsoever. So I feel like the budget of this movie must have been, I'm guessing, 50-esque million. It needed to use the budget somewhere else. I'm sorry. Because that CGI didn't work. Which is weird because I remember watching Edge of Tomorrow and the special features where they try to be as realistic as possible. Here they just went in the complete opposite. So I don't know what they were thinking with that level. But it was fine. but a little disappointing when watching it on that lens. So overall, Roadhouse, you could say, yes, this is another Y remake, kind of like Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. I absolutely agree with that. But this one makes a little bit more sense because a lot of action movies in the 80s are getting remade. Like I said, though, Jake Gyllenhaal, Conor McGregor, all the other all the other actors in this movie, they do pretty good. The story's fine. Some of the gags really don't work, and some of them do. But with that level, the gags that work are very few and far between from the other gags that don't work. And of course, in the fight sequences, pretty good, but nothing to oh my god, amazing shit. And I expected more from the CGI, just be a little bit better. So Roadhouse will receive a 3 out of 5 Futons, which equals that 60%. So see the critics' news scores gave this one. So you have critics a 60% of the 192 of them, audience score 54% with over 250,000, or 202,500. Critic consensus. Roadhouse updates a cult classic for a new generation, happily replicating the original's emphasis on cheesy brawn over narrative brains. Sure, but I have to blame some of the writing and the director for how some of this turned out. Anyway, 60s 54. Chase Lock here at the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. One other thing is Booftopia. You Booftons take watch a great day. I don't care watch this tape tomorrow, week from now, month from a year from now, every single freaking one of you. Peace and love. Peace and love. And yeah, I'm still not going to fight Jake Gyllenhaal or Conor McGregor. I'm running the fuck out of that bar.